I'd like to call the meeting to order for January 15th, 2025. We'll start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Warrant bills are all signed up. Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda for the January 15th, 2025 meeting.
Seconded.
All in favor? Minutes of the last meeting.
Those are not ready yet.
We will
Well,
table
we
that.
have the minutes from December 18th.
From when?
December 18th. Did these already get?
Yeah, those
That's,
are,
that's yeah,
yeah, we already did that.
yeah.
I believe,
Yeah, we're not behind.
Okay.
yeah, I think I approved.
Well, we have
those.
one with the sound web, but that was before the 18th. We're working on that.
Okay, so we're gonna table the minutes for the last meeting. Town Administrator Weekly Update.
Just a couple items for you. First is to remind you that the transfer station is closed on Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, so it's advertised everywhere accordingly, but we wanted to go on and say it. Spoke to EMA Director a couple of times today. He wanted to share with you, first of all, that he did meet with the Red Cross, and the school has turned the town off as a independent shelter, so now we're back to where they'll help cover cost and oversee it, so that's great.
Nice.
Excuse me. The outstanding FEMA project has been completed. I met with Will, those last few things that he
Perfect.
mentioned last week.
Awesome.
All that's done, so in good shape. And then he wants, we're starting to advertise the RAVE program that he talked about. You're gonna see flyers on the website and around town. And we're gonna start trying to hand them out at the counter. And he wanted to give brownie points to the first selectman that signs up for it. You can go to RAVE, there'll be a flyer out there, you can scan it, or just go to the website and just enter in your cell phone number and your address.
So that
and
puts
you'll
you
get
on a
signed-
call list.
Get you on a call list for emergencies only, so. Dan, my money's on you, so. I'm just kidding.
Whoa, I was gonna do it right now.
Yeah, Shannon's probably doing it as we
Yeah, she's
speak,
doing it
go
right
Shannon.
now,
So anyways, he really wants to find a way to start getting more people on this. It'll never be, for unuseful communications or soliciting. It's only for emergencies. And only he and I believe I'm on there as administrator, so it's safe and important to do. And just a reminder that we have originally 2 Warren Finance Committee alternate meetings, members open. Looks like we may be down to 1. We're gonna do an interview next week. And Zoning Board of Appeals, we do have a case coming forward. I've called and left messages with all the previous people to see if they're interested, gotten probably half of them back that they were. And we have a new member that's come forward, so we have those on
So
tonight's
how many-
agenda.
How many are we missing?
Well, I have 2 members that just haven't called me back yet. They certainly could have been at work, so we want to give them a chance. We'll have at least 2 alternates and 1 regular seat, depending on what these other 2 people say, so. And the last thing, I was gonna talk to you about a foreclosure, but we ended up having to put it on the agenda, so we'll get back to that.
Okay, cool. Liaison updates, Tom is not with us tonight. Ed,
I have nothing.
you have nothing. Dan,
No updates from the fire department. I had a check-in with the rec director last Thursday, or with the meeting. The basketball schedule should be out. The rec director is looking forward to her first meeting. They found out that there is a meeting for rec directors in the local area, so she's excited to start doing those. And she's in communication with Sanford to talk about, I think the upcoming, they're gonna talk about baseball. I know last year they kind of did a different process. They want to see if there's still room for that, so that's going to be on their agenda for the upcoming meeting. But she's also talking the process with Sanford, just in case they go that route again, just make sure the deadlines and everything is
Yep.
communicated with enough time. And the rec committee has, their next meeting is January 27th at 6 p.m. And then the Conservation Forestry Committee had their meeting last night. That's it.
You saw the email I sent today about the forestry conservation,
Yes,
so
I
we're
did.
working on
It's-
that. We've
it's-
got, so to be determined. I'm sorry, before you go on to the next one, Dan Crampitz, our IT director, wanted to point out that the RAVE link is already on the EMA page, so you don't even have to go looking for it, it's right there. So thank you, Dan.
nice. John?
Last Thursday, I went to the school committee's monthly meeting and then their budget meeting right after that. So they've started the process. They've got their next one scheduled for the 23rd. So they have a handful more to go to finish their budget process. Planning board, site walk tomorrow. 34th Street for an expansion, and the fines have been mailed. And I think he's also contacted the individuals to let them know they're coming. And cemetery, I believe, is meeting Friday night. I need to,
24th.
24th, okay,
I have it on 24th at
All
6 o'clock.
that's it.
That's it? Okay. Roads, I met with Will last week, went over some of his budget. He's readjusting some stuff. And I talked to Mr. Ward, the chair of the road committee there. He's been in contact, he's working with the, on the Article 43, about readjusting
Oh,
that
yeah.
process.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he's one of the associations has a couple small concerns. I told them that if they would like, I would go to their meeting if they want. So if they had any questions to see what this is all about.
The road committee or the?
The road
Oh, okay, I was
association,
gonna say, 'cause I don't
the
have a
road
committee
association
scheduled.
is, and, you know, they're still working on it.
Mhm.
They just want to maybe clarify a few things, so I told them I would go to their lake association meeting to kind of get an idea of what their concerns are and da-da-da-da.
I was gonna make
So-
sure we get that in the budget wherever you.
Yeah, and we did talk about the budget. He was worried about what was gonna happen if, you know, timeline, getting an article and this and that, you know, so, I did explain to him, I'm gonna have to talk to the board, try to figure out what we wanna do, and, you know, how we wanna roll this, but, the process is moving forward anyway, so I'm pretty excited about that.
And did Will call you, he was gonna call you to set something up in the next, he was hoping for Monday if it didn't snow with.
He hasn't
you and
talked to me
Leslie.
yet, but I was expecting a call at some
Okay.
point, cause he just had to do some configuring on his, numbers. And, a couple things that wasn't accounted for.
Yeah, I think he said he was gonna call tomorrow.
Yeah, so that'll be good, and then, obviously at that point, I'll be in touch with you, Leslie there.
Sounded like Mondays, he was shooting for Monday night.
We'll see what the weather is
Yeah.
too, so,
did-
he might be
did-
working.
He did say.
The weatherman's right or wrong, I don't
Might-
know.
yeah.
He might be working, so. And municipal grounds, I have no more update on that at this moment, so we are gonna go down to department head committee chair update.
Leslie Berlin, Warren Finance Chair. We had our first budget meeting going over general government on Monday. Our next meeting is scheduled for the 28th, and then whatever budgets we have, we'll be going over. Jen, I did want to ask about if the social services requests were ready yet.
Yep, I saw your email and I was gonna get them to you.
Okay.
One of the things I did mention under town administrators, Mark Roy was here for 8 hours today, so, I didn't send that, but I will get them to you by the end of the week.
Yeah, no worries. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, if you could send them out and
Yep.
put hard copies in our box, that way we
Absolutely.
can start to get a head start on that, you know, and move along that process.
We doing the social services this year? We bringing them in like we have in the future?
So, per Tom's, original instruction and the board's approval, we sent, letters out asking for the financial statements and asking for a cover letter.
Yeah.
For now, they're all in, so, I know we haven't covered that piece of the budget yet, so you guys haven't made a decision, but we've got a spreadsheet for you that we'll send to everybody at once, that essentially says last year's and this year's, and, I think there was a new one or two, so
Okay.
you guys can decide once you see the list if you want to talk to them or not.
Yeah, last year, they sent a lot more information than they usually did.
And that was per Tom's recommendation. So
And there were
It's
very few
helpful.
questions after we saw what
Yeah.
they had submitted.
So we were hoping to do that again, so we didn't have to take.
Yeah, I couldn't remember, I mean, so every year it seems to be a little different, but I know we used to bring them in.
So we'll send them around, and I'll put that on next Wednesday's agenda for the board to make a decision if they want to see them or not. Maybe we could piggyback it, so they don't come in twice, but
Yeah, I mean, I just
Some of
would
them
like
are
to get a
minimal,
head
so you
start
may
in
not
that way.
want-
I
yep.
mean, we get the bulk of the work done, behind us.
Makes sense.
And
And we do, we'll have the, I think which, everybody saw the email about the transfer station wasn't ready for tonight, but roads is next week, fire department will sneak the transfer station back in, so you should have a couple to review by the time the 28th comes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else? No, that's okay, we're gonna go to old business, there is none, new business, appointments.
So, as I mentioned, we've reached out to zoning board members, I have 4 appointments for you. The ordinance says that they have to be staggered and they should be 3 to 5 years, so, I appointed them as they came in at 5, 4, 3, and we'll do that accordingly. So I have, I'm sorry? I have Bernard Broder for a 5-year term, Brandy Cynical for a 5-year term, Yoli Gallagher for a 4-year term, and Lois Mishu for a 3-year term. So far, that's all I've heard from. I did leave messages for the other couple of members.
How many do we need?
It's 5 and 2 alternates.
Then you would make a motion as read?
Sure.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. I'll start them off.
When's the last time we voted ZBA?
The last ZBA, if I had to guess, was my buddy Ron Colson. Do you remember?
It's been for 4 years or so.
What? That's a good guy. I feel like it's been 4 or 5 years. He was a hoot. Yeah, rest in peace. It's 4 or 5 years.
It's been that, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And we believe we have one coming. We should have a committee anyways, but we do believe we have one coming, so,
Yeah, because we don't want to cut without one.
right.
Jennifer, I want you to know my count has been made. Sorry.
It has,
It's already set up.
You did it,
Shit.
you already did it?
We're done.
so we're just
That's
waiting
how
for,
quick and
we're waiting
easy.
for a text from Shannon to see if she could beat the
So quick and
timestamp.
easy it was. Everyone should be able to do it.
I think Phil's email said the board should leave, they should set an example. I'll see what I can do to get them all to sign up by the end of the night.
Happy to do it,
I know.
on top of everything else.
Is it gonna be you or gonna be Hope?
I tell you, it's not gonna be me.
We'd be happy to set up hope for that.
Okay, new business, foreclosures,
Okay.
quit claim deed.
All right, so, quick short story. So we actually started with 18 properties going into foreclosure that got impending 45-day foreclosure notices. The deadline was yesterday at 4:30. Yesterday, at the start of the day, we were down to 3. Everyone else had paid. We got 2 of them paid during the day, and then there was 1. This particular account had a very small balance, but we have to treat these accounts the same. The town doesn't have any authority to decide when these liens mature. They just mature based on the date stamp of the registry. So, as big of a heart as we may all have, it just matures. So this individual inadvertently sent in a check, which was started as a no-no because you have to pay by certified check or money order or cash, but it was early enough in the process that we could have taken it, we would just adjust it if it didn't clear. But unfortunately, it was payable to the state of Maine. So it was absolutely out of our control. No phone number, non-resident. So we immediately returned it, priority mail, certified. They had it back by December 20th, 25th, so that still gave them another 14 days to make payment. Payment never came at the end of the day. Staff stayed until 5:30. We just trying hard to just find a phone number. But it's a non-resident, it's in the state, someone's passed away. Long story short, so as of today, the town of Acton owns the property. It was originally on the agenda because I was going to ask you to approve a right to redemption, which we've done every year since I've worked for the town of Acton. Basically says, unfortunately we're in the situation, but now here's 60 days to buy it back. But now you have to pay 22, 23, 24, 25, and an admin fee. And then we do a quick claim deed back to the property owner because we do not want to own it. 10:30 or so this morning, we made contact. One of the many messages that my staff left got through to somebody, and it was just an oversight. They've since paid all 3 years and the admin fee, but we still need to sign the quick claim deed. So this actually, I don't know why I said 10:30 because it was late in the day. One of you were here. We blend in after a while. So it blended, huh?
It was like after 4
Well, I
o'clock.
think it was 10:30 when we talked to her the first time they called back to make payment. It was a busy day. I couldn't possibly get the quick claim deed through legal that quickly. So Ed's idea, I think, was that if we could make a motion to sign the quick claim deed, deeding it back, and then over the next day or two, I'll have you come in and sign it.
Yeah, no problem with
Makes sense.
Yeah, we'll make a, You need a motion?
Please, yeah.
Okay.
To sign the quitclaim deed on the foreclosed property without giving out too much.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we sign the quitclaim deed when it's done for the assigned property that, as spoken.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Transfer station hauling bids.
Okay, so this afternoon, Ed and I worked on 2 bids that we want to release. Tomorrow, he's given me a list of companies that might be interested, just like with sand and salt. We try to find companies to mail it to, in addition to getting on the website, the newspaper, and all of that. So the first one is invitation to bid. The town of Acton is seeking bids for the transportation of a municipal solid waste receiver box to the greater Portland Westbrook area. Currently, the town of Acton's need is for up to 2 hauls per week. The winning bidder must offer the rental of said container. Please itemize the rental fee and price per haul when returning your bid. Contractor must have all applicable insurances, including workers' compensation and liability. The town of Acton will entertain a 1 to 3 year contract. Please specify the length of your contract your company will offer, along with any changes in rate past the first year. Sealed bids must be received by 4 o'clock Friday the 5th. The second one I won't read to you verbatim. It's essentially the same except for the first couple of lines. The town of Acton is seeking bids for the transportation of demo dumpsters to the greater Portland Westbrook area. Bid to include the rental of 2 dumpsters and up to 3 hauls per week. So it's different between the regular MSW trash and the demo. The rest has got the same legal piece at the bottom. We'd like to get those out tomorrow.
The
Good.
MSW?
What?
I didn't
Just
realize,
asking how
I didn't
many-
realize that we were sending out 3 dumpsters a week.
Yeah.
Oh, between the 3?
The demo last year, last summer was sometimes 4, but 3 should be sufficient. The MSW goes usually twice because they want to start Saturday with an empty one.
And we had a little conversation at our 5 o'clock about the transfer station and all of that, and that will be a big part of next Wednesday's discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, once I want to update the superintendent on there. I'd like to wait until, Tom's got a lot of financial information to add to it, and especially if we're talking about possibly putting a fee in, I think it should be a full board. So actually, we'll put it on the following week when he returns.
Yeah.
But the demo costs are just outside of the town of Acton's control there,
And they're
extremely high.
becoming ridiculous, but
Every,
it's something we've got to pay. I mean, we got to get rid of the trash,
right, so,
so.
more to come on that.
Is he gonna be back next week?
No, apologies.
Yeah, that's all. Okay, yeah.
Hopefully, we're gonna finish up that budget on Friday.
Yes, oh yes, so we're
So-
meeting again,
Yeah,
so.
it's a budget that should take a couple hours to do, with
It's,
all the changes in the pricing and,
Pretty much just those 2 lines that's really gonna.
that's it, yeah, it's the line for the MSW
we
hauling
should
and
reach
the,
out, sorry, go ahead, I'm
and
sorry.
the demo, yeah. But just trying to narrow down the pricing for it.
Yeah.
It's kinda like budgeting for the employees' health insurance.
Right.
Half of them might have health insurance, half might not. But at any time given during the year, that half that doesn't may decide they want it. So we have to be budgeted for it.
So you gotta over budget.
So we're gonna budget on the high number, and I have a habit of looking at things like this, sitting on it, thinking about it, and then getting back to it. And the more I think about getting back to it, I wanna raise one of the numbers,
Yeah,
just in
And we
case.
need to, just based on what we paid through December,
Yeah.
so.
So,
We should, I should email Lee real quick and see if he wants to join us again on Friday.
Yes, please.
It won't take long, but.
Yep.
So I can do that.
Yep.
So you guys are good with those bids going out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Do
definitely.
we need to?
No.
appreciate it.
Okay, we all set with the transfer station?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess we'll go down to public comment.
This is just a question from last week, and I kind of forgot about it. So Jen brought it up tonight. The fines that were sent out for no permits, I guess it was for.
3 of them, yeah.
First thing is, where does that money go when it comes in?
It's gonna,
To the general fund.
yeah, it's gonna go into just a regular revenue account, yes.
And how are these dollar amounts set?
So the Board of Selectmen had a conversation based on the, how severe it was and if the code officer had had conversations with the individual. without recapping them all, for
No.
example, yeah. So basically, the code officer met with them and basically said, listen, I saw this person face to face, he or she knew the permit was expired,
We also
he
looked at the
continued to do it anyways.
We looked at the ordinance and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah. So
Well, I
each
see
one
in
was
the
different.
ordinance, the price is anywhere from $100 to $2,500.
And two of them clearly knew they were in violation, were told to stop and chose not to, so the
When-
board felt it was
They
right
had
to
a
do.
meeting with the board.
The code officer met with the select board to go over each situation.
Was it an executive session? 'Cause I didn't,
No, I
No, it was
believe
a 5
it was a
o'clock,
5 o'clock.
everybody was welcome to,
Yeah.
to
It
show
oh,
was-
I
up.
didn't know.
Yeah, no, it was at 5 o'clock. He discussed it. I mean, it's one of those, just like, it is public information if anybody asks, but there's no reason,
Yeah.
just like the foreclosures, to advertise names if we don't have to. So it was there.
No, I appreciate
no,
that.
yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's
Well, we sat down and we didn't want to, we did not want to, fine people for doing, especially if someone made a mistake, but the unfortunate problem was when he was discussing it and showing us the pictures and the timelines, and obviously there was, people knew what they were doing.
That was the hard part, right?
That was,
the,
it
that was the
wasn't,
deciding factor.
there was no mistakes being made, and at some point, you don't wanna lay the hammer down, but you have to make some sort of, okay, you do this, it's gonna cost you. Cause some of these things are big, someone built a whole house, no inspections or anything. The other one created a whole gravel pit, and so, and the other one, went way beyond what he knew he was supposed to do, and it got Saco River Corridor and everybody involved. It was a big deal. So we felt we were just on what we did. We had to make a point.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
questioning whether you're just or not. I was just wondering, like,
How it came
if
about.
you're doing something with a permit, without a permit, I just had having this conversation like you just did. It wasn't really talking about an individual, but there was a difference in the dollar amount of the fine.
Right, because
I
one of them,
don't
one of
think-
them, the code officer felt was an oversight. The
Yeah.
one with
It
the,
wasn't as
It wasn't
egregious
just-
as the other ones.
Yeah.
the other two, he had specifically face to face spoken to the property owners.
Yeah,
And that made the difference. The other one was like, oh, I can't do that, it's my property, it's my lake. There was just a big difference in the conversations.
okay.
And I think we did touch upon it when we talked
I
about the
forgot we-
members in the meeting. I
Yeah,
think
we-
we did give a little bit of an explanation, talking about, it was like a blatant disregard, like they knew, they're just saying, I don't care.
I did forget that we did, one of them was quite a bit less.
Yeah,
I forgot the one.
the
up
br-
there
yeah.
previously.
Because
That
that
was an oversight.
That one was,
Yeah.
they have to take everything down and pay for it.
He also has a timeline for when he has to get that out of there.
Yeah.
And then if it's not addressed, then I think I
Continues to get
understood.
He can continue to be
Then
fined.
the fine continues every 30 days.
Yeah, so the ordinance is not 100% clear, but it does say there's a new fine each day, and
Each
Jason,
day.
yeah,
That's right,
Jason,
it does say each day.
yeah, it does, and Jason kind of said after we wrote the letter, we didn't really give it a timeline, so we're gonna revisit it in 30 days. We wanna try to be as open as we can with this,
Well, I
and,
think the problem was with that situation there, he's in the water working, it's
Yeah.
frozen, may
Right.
not be able to do it.
So he's
So-
got piers in the water
Yeah.
that he's gotta get out.
And Saco River Corridor will make sure it gets done too, so I think that's all, that won't be a problem. Okay, any other? Nope, okay, do I hear a motion?
I just like to add that
Oop.
Shannon has completed her rave.
She has.
She needs a code on your
Did she get done
phone.
before Dan?
No, I did the code and everything. I'm done.
Well, in her defense, she doesn't have David's
Her
phone.
defense, she shouldn't be the one doing it.
She's setting up David's.
Yeah, she's like, I need it. Can we get the David's code? All right, I'm sorry. That's it.
Okay, good.
Move to adjourn at 6:29 PM.
Seconded.
All in favor?
John, you were
Good
one.
night.